We all need blood sugar to live. Without blood sugar, we are dead. And therefore, nature has designed a wonderful hormone called insulin, which helps in regulation of blood sugar. Where does this blood sugar come from? When we consume a meal full of carbohydrate, for example, a bowl full of rice, the end product of metabolism of carbohydrate is blood sugar or blood glucose. Any food containing carbohydrate contains sugar, and this is the sugar we are talking about. And so the insulin, which is produced by the pancreas, is the one that helps to regulate the blood sugar to normal, because there are levels and ranges at which blood sugar should be in our bodies in order for us to be safe. And if it's beyond a certain level, of course, it will lead to destruction of blood vessels and important organs in the body. Before I forget to introduce myself, I'm Morena J. This is my channel. If you haven't subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so that any notification when it comes, you're the first one to know. And please watch, share, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more health tips. Trust me with your health issues and your medical issues. I'll be here willing and ready to help and walk the journey with you. And so I've said the end product of carbohydrate metabolism is blood sugar. And have you ever asked yourself, where does this sugar go to? So this insulin, upon sensing that our blood glucose has risen or has gone up, that is after consumption of a meal, insulin is released. And so this insulin hormone helps to push sugar, the blood sugar, into liver cells. You know, our body is an engine and it can burn two fuels, and the fuels are sugar and fats. But the body usually starts by using up the sugar before it goes to the fat reservoirs. Sugar is the one which is used first because it's number one source of energy. Like half of the body's energy is dependent on carbohydrate or sugar, which is the end product of carbohydrate metabolism. So the liver has to do something with this sugar, which usually undergoes different processes in order to be kept in liver. It cannot be kept in its active form glucose, so it's usually converted into glycogen, where it is stored up, and when needed in the body, it starts to be released slowly, and again it's converted back into its active form glucose to be taken up by body cells to be used to produce energy for various functions, e.g. talking, walking, pumping blood, and many other functions. So, in order to manage or live well with diabetes, you have to have the master of which foods, the master and the knowledge of which foods are high in carbohydrates, which food, when consumed, will lead or will cause blood sugar to spike, because this spike and sudden rise of sugar levels is what is toxic to the body organs and tissues. Therefore, you have to cut down on the carbohydrates so that you avoid overloading yourself. So you have to cut down on carbohydrates to avoid overloading your blood with too much sugar. There is no single magic diet for diabetes, but you only have to master the language. You only have to master the type of foods that you will eat to help regulate your blood glucose. Because the problem is with diabetes is that the insulin which is produced is either not it's either not enough, or sometimes the insulin is not there at all to regulate the blood glucose. Therefore, it's up to you to regulate this blood glucose by being careful of what we are eating, because the same food you are eating is what is going to be broken down and to end up into sugars. So you have to know which types of foods have too much sugar so that you can know how to cut them to avoid overloading yourself with too much sugar. In your plate, if you divide your plate in three portions, three sizes, so that half will be filled with fruits and vegetables, one quarter lean proteins, and the other quarter will be carbohydrates. And I'm going to list for you examples of these vegetables and fruits. First of all, you have to know that when I talk about fruits, I don't mean blended fresh juice, but I mean whole fruits, because these whole fruits have fiber, but the blended one, the bond has been broken, and therefore the fiber is not there. So you just have to eat whole fruits. Yeah. So you have to go with the non-starchy vegetables and fruits, because starch is what produces sugar. So you have to go with non-starchy. And I'm going to name for you examples of non-starchy fruits and vegetables. And the good thing about fruits and vegetables is that they have a lot of fiber. And fiber helps you to stay full for long. And also the fiber is going to prevent the sugar spikes. It's going to prevent sugar from elevating or going high all the time. So uptake of sugar will be small, but in small bits, small by small, if you consume a lot of fiber. And example of these non-starchy fruits and vegetables include cucumbers, asparagus, avocado, carrots, and also remember that these fruits, non-starchy fruits and vegetables, have very few calories. And when I talk about fruits, I don't mean it's exclusive of blended fresh juices, because upon blending, the fiber bonds are broken down. So it means these fresh juices will not consume as much fiber as whole fruits. So you're going to consume your fruit as whole, but not blended. And other examples of these non-starchy vegetables include cauliflower, broccoli, beans, mushroom also. The other half portion of your plate should be filled with lean proteins. And these lean proteins include fish, include eggs, include chicken. Yes, those are the examples. And certain parts of even beef, there are certain parts that have the lean meat. This lean meat is without a lot of fats. And we know the work of proteins is to help in growth, development, in repair of tissues, and also have many immunological functions in the body. So the other quarter, this so after the first half of our plate filled with healthy green vegetables and non-starchy vegetables and fruits, we move to the second half, which is divided into two, one quarter and the next quarter. And the first quarter is proteins. And we all know proteins is a major macronutrient that helps in repair and build up of tissues in the body cells, and it also has immunological functions in the body. Animal proteins are not considered healthy and will go for lean proteins. And for examples of lean proteins are better because they have unsaturated, they have less of saturated fats. They include fish, e.g., the salmon, tilapia, chicken, eggs, turkey. Yes, that's the example. And we also have plant proteins. Oh, and so in carbohydrates, we have whole grains, and we have processed sugars. So we should go for whole grains because they also have fiber. And earlier I mentioned that fiber helps us to stay full. And foods containing fiber has a low glycemic index. And the definition of glycemic index is it's just a system of rating the amount of sugar in each carbohydrate when eaten separately or on its own, the way it will make sugar level rise in your blood. That's what glycemic index is. So we have we have foods with low glycemic index, and we also have foods with high glycemic index. Foods in low glycemic index are the best because they will cause this sugar in the blood to be in food to which is consumed to be released in bits. But glycemic index which is high will cause sugar to just spike. Immediately you eat, the sugar level spikes up. So we go for foods with low glycemic index, which are whole grains, e.g. the oatmeals. Go for brown bread, go for brown rice instead of white rice, because these white ones have been processed and the fiber content has been removed, so it makes their glycemic index higher. And so this is not going to be safe, rather it's going to be harmful because it's going to cause a spike in our sugar levels, and these sugar levels is what we are trying to regulate by eating healthy. Another thing about diabetes is that you have to make sure you maintain healthy BMI. You should have a healthy BMI, and you should have your weight checked, your height checked, so that your BMI can be calculated to know if you are healthier or not. Because the heavier you weigh, the more risk of getting diabetes. So please ensure you have a healthy BMI. You also have to consider really cutting down or avoiding alcohol consumption, because alcohol contains a lot of empty calories. These empty calories are just going to add up to your sugar levels, which is also going to be very harmful. You have to avoid the processed and refined sugars such as sodas, and go for a healthier drink. Go for water. Water is good anytime. Prefer water or any other healthy drink to replace it as a fluid instead of going for sodas which have been added sugars. And we all know that diabetes is integral to high blood pressure. They always attract, like when you have diabetes, it's very easy to have your pressure go up, because you know why? When you're injected insulin, this insulin where during medication or during treatment, insulin has a tendency of making salt retain in the renal areas. So when salt is retained, when salt meets fluid, that is when your blood pressure starts going up, starts misbehaving. So we have to take care of our bodies so that we can be free from diabetes, which is going to attract this high blood pressure. Always ensure to check on the food labels at the food stores before you purchase anything. Check on the labels, the amount of sugars, the amount of fat, the amount of calories those food products contain before you just pick anything. Trust me with your meal plans for any conditions, be it diabetes. Plus, trust me to write your meal preps, because you also have to plan your meals in advance so that to avoid last minute rush. Not planning is number one cause of just eating unnecessary food, because you are feeling hungry, you don't have food in the fridge or in the house. So even a diabetes patient should always have meals ready so that alongside your medication, make sure you have also your foods ready to avoid just falling into a trap of anything. So I'm looking forward to a healthy generation with less complications, and even if the complication is there already, trust me, life is going to be easier if you just follow those hacks and those tips, and be positive about yourself. Make sure you are looking out and watching so that we will avoid a lot of complications. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention, for your time. See you in the next video. We are going to address cancer, the causes and the symptoms. Thank you so much.